How's everyone doing? Transition time? Hell yeah, dude. It's gonna be a good one today. So this is the... Okay, we'll take it out of this in a bit here. This is the wrist rest. There's so much stuff in here, by the way. I think they literally sent us like one of everything to test out. Okay, hold on. We need to figure out what we're doing here, how we're gonna tackle this today. The wrist rest comes in its own carrying case, yeah. So this is the Transition from Swagkeys. So here's what I'm thinking with this board. I think we got I hope we have a hot swap PCB. So I'd like to try 1 or 2 plates tonight. Very pretty build. Look at this thing. The back of this, to me, this is, you know, I know it's that whole cursive font, but it's not as aggressive and in your face. And I really love these. Dude, this is so, I don't even know what to call this, like these graduations of the curve here, the taper, whatever you want to call it. This is so pretty, man. It's such a pretty board. So these 2 pieces are stainless steel. I'm not sure what this is. I don't think it's stainless steel. I don't think it has quite the big heft for that, but I'll double check. So let's read. The retail for this is going to be, for the beige, $365. So the one you see here, so this is beige. And then for the burgundy one, or silver, or navy, or black, it's $350. It's also going to be in stock, and that's not including a PCB. So it does not come with a PCB at that price. So let's just say, for the sake of talking, because I'm not too sure how much the PCBs are going to be, about $45 for a PCB if you want hot swap. Let's just say about 400 total. I'm looking at the Notion link. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of that, and then it is a, maybe it's a stainless steel back weight. Yeah, maybe it is. And then we have a whole bunch of plates. Like, there is a shit ton of plates. Okay, let's just go through all the plates that we have here today. Interesting. I'm not sure if this is like a force brake kit or something like that. I'm not sure what that is, but this is the polycarbonate plate. This is pretty thick feeling. This is a very thick polycarb plate. Is this supposed to be like this? There's like a sandwich or some sort of sandwich plate too, right? Yeah, that's the PC sandwich plate, the 4mm thickness one. Interesting. I don't know if we'll use this today, but we also have an aluminum plate. I think that's the Alu plate. Actually, is it? It might be the FR4 plate. We'll have to open some of these guys up. No, here's the FR4 plate. We have the FR4. We got the Palm. We have the gasket mounted one. There's a top mounted one. So what I might have, because this is a lot of SKUs. We got some foams, which I don't know if we'll use today. I'm not going to judge yet, but there's a lot of plates for this, a lot of SKUs for plates. Now, luckily the plates aren't that much for add-ons, but I think a piece of criticism I may have for this, again, I don't want to jump into this criticism yet, might be a little overwhelming for people. Perhaps a better way to kind of like, oh yeah, we do have a hot swap PCB as well. So they sent us 2 PCBs. A better way to kind of figure out that mounting style as well. Some gasket socks, which is nice. Some screws, which we'll leave this stuff in here for now. Daughter board, which we'll leave in here. We got some feet. More feet, just different color. And then some other sort of gasket socks. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this keyboard's really pretty. Let's take another quick little look at this thing. Super pretty board. I really like this. That side profile is super, super hot too. It's definitely giving me a little bit of the, what was that other board called? The Shelby. A little bit of Shelby vibes, but I feel like this is a slightly more interesting design than the Shelby. I do agree with what Gingy said. I do think that a lot of the fun stuff is happening on the bottom. Like, you know what could have been really nice for this? You know how they have this like double blocker or whatever you want to call it, piece of weight here? That could have been super cool if they did something with like right over here with the silver and kind of carried on some of that design language on the front and the top. But if the target is to have like a very, very simplistic TKL from the top, I think this is definitely hitting the marker for that. Super pretty though, super pretty. I need to lube some stabs now, so let's do that. Yeah, I don't know, I really enjoy keyboards. And you know what's funny? It's not even for the keyboards anymore. Like, I love keyboards, I love building things, I love making other people happy. That's what kind of keeps me streaming. But the main reason I like it is because I finally found, and I've mentioned this, I finally found a community where I feel like, it sounds cheesy, and I don't mean to sound cheesy, but it's like, I feel like I belong here. You know, I feel like a lot of us have kind of found our place here, and we like it. And the more people that come in and kind of interest, they kind of see if it's their place too, and we keep it welcoming, and you know, it's just nice. What sockets are these? Oh, these are the TTC ones. Here, I'll show you guys. Let me zoom in. So that's something new we get to look at today. Oh, what a classic looking PCB. Super simple, I like it, suits the rest of the keyboard. This is the hot swap version, so we're not gonna get as much compatibility, but we do have what caps lock looks like. That's really about it. I'm not too worried about it. They do have a solderable version too, which they sell. I stumbled upon this question on Discord today. 65XT or TKL? Are you asking everyone, or like what I'd prefer personally, disc? Because what I'd prefer personally, probably a TKL. Yeah, I think I would pick TKL, but I think a lot of people have been really warming up to 65XTs or FRL TKLs. So, all right, so this goes on like this. This is a thick boy plate. So look at that. This is that 4mm polycarbonate plate. Look at that thickness. So these are like sticker tabs, whatever you want to call them. So these are what came with the thicker plate. This is only for the thicker plate as far as I'm aware of. So we're gonna attach all these to the mounting points here. I'm not sure what these are supposed to do, by the way. These like little sock things, these little pads. I wonder how this is gonna sound. All right, those little pad thingies are on all the tabs now. These are pre-lubed. Sound pretty good. Environment can change the sound of the keyboard. It's something a lot of people don't believe. But yes, the environment you're in, like even the room you're in. Dude, when I got into this room originally, when there was nothing in here, and the room was, I mean, it still kind of is a little bit hollow sounding, the room. Like it has some reverb. My keyboards sounded like not good. None of them did. But then the moment I actually got a few things in the room, I kind of learned, I'm like, oh, so now the keyboards sound like really good because nothing's bouncing off walls. But I actually kind of learned I like a little bit of the reverb in the room, so I took off some of the sound panels and stuff. Look how thick this plate is, dude. That's actually kind of cool to look at. All right, so here's the top pieces. So there's where all the mounting styles can go. Interesting. Came back from accomplishing my to-dos. What I miss? Well, we just opened up the keyboard. So this just kind of sits in there. This is the sandwich style mount one. And I'm guessing what these pads are for is to kind of help force break things a little bit too. Very, very interesting. I am noticing some fingerprints on this weight here. If you keep your finger there long enough, I wonder how easy that'll be to clean. I think this board needs a whole separate stream where we sit there and we also try a whole slew of other plate combos and stuff too. Interesting. All right, 4mm plate sandwich mount style. So you can do 3 different mounts with this: top mount, gasket, and sandwich. I like the variety we're getting. I'm not saying all of them are gonna be good, but the variety is kind of cool. I appreciate it. Ooh, this is gonna look nice. Wait, that kind of sounds nice already. What the? Okay, I don't know about the spacebar, how the spacebar is gonna sound. That might sound super stiff, by the way. My experience with spacebars like this, it's gonna sound really, really stiff and just kind of flat. But I don't want to, like, obviously there's how many ways we can mount this? 3 ways we can mount this with a lot of different plate materials. I did notice I think they had a tab underneath the spacebar, which I never recommend doing, by the way. I know this is supposed to be that mounting style though, so it might satisfy the people who like that kind of mount. I like how the wrist rest kind of follows suit with the design language. I don't know how I feel about the black accent on this wrist rest personally. Will that kind of divvy up the way it looks? I don't know how I feel about the wrist rest. I think that's definitely a personal preference thing. I'm not loving it, but I get why. Oh, I mean, it's comfortable. Ooh, alphas kind of sound hot. I don't like the wrist rest the way it looks either. Okay, so this is the Transition. We'll take another quick look at it from all directions and angles here. So there it is in the light. You can kind of see the accent of the weight, which is kind of cool. There's no foam on this at all. Here it is on the other side, so you can see the keycaps better with the alignment of the kind of box on wedge style design. I like the graduation of the curve here. Kind of adds, again, really pretty side profile. So great looking, all very classic looking side profile as well. The top, really no frills, no flare. If you wanted a clean top profile, which I think some people can appreciate for what it is. Super basic, super okay with that as well. Not everything has to be super out there. The back piece kind of hides the USB-C cable, so it's very recessed past the screw over here. So you won't be able to see that, which is nice. A lot of people really like that. The bottom, I think, is where this shines. I really like what they did with this design here, adding like multiple layers of different materials. I think that's, well, different colors and styles of finishes. Really cool. I really like that. That looks beautiful. And we're using the stack mount config, or not stack mount, rather, what did they call it? Hold on, let me double check. I said it before, and now I'm like literally forgetting. The sandwich style, that's what we're calling it, the sandwich style one. So there's also a gasket mount with the gasket sleeves, which we're not using today, and there's also top mount, which top mount, I would go with something like polycarbonate or PC. And with the sandwich style, we're using 4mm plate. So this is a thick plate. Pretty cool though. I like the fact that this is not quite the same as everything else. It gives you a bunch of different options you can play with. I think the only criticism I would have in terms of that though, is you do need to buy specific plates. I understand it for the 4mm one, but I would have liked to see some overlap between the other ones. Luckily, they aren't crazy expensive, so if you kind of know what you want, kind of helpful, but let's see how this would sound. We're using the V1 switches. Looks great. I think this is a great set for this, by the way. This is the polycarbonate 4mm plate. We'll give you a little HJ test. Alphas are kind of nice. I'm usually not a big fan of the whole sandwich style stuff, so I'm surprised with these alphas. Pretty deep. The mods sound lovely. Okay, the spacebar is not my favorite in the world, but I think it suits the keyboard and the way this sounds. This is quite nice, actually. Okay, you know what? I like this.